Hi friends, my name is Natalie. I am a senior in Perry's Teacher Academy, and whenever I become a teacher, I would like to teach at an elementary. Now that we've gotten to know a little bit about myself, today we're going to be reading a story and doing a little bit of an activity afterwards. The book is called How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is the title. And then it was written and illustrated by Dr. Seuss. This is the cover of the book. And then we go to the spine, and it has the title down here, How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. And then we move to the back cover, which just kind of has a little picture of the Grinch. Okay, so let's get started. Has anybody seen How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the movie? I know there's a few versions out there. The newest one is animated, and that's my favorite. So let's get started. Here's the Grinch on the cover. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is the title page. The dedication page, who the book was written for, it says for Teddy Owens. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who just lived north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. Here he is in his cave. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they were hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled, with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming, I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and boys, would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys, and then, oh, the noise. Oh, the noise. Noise, noise, noise. That's one thing that he hated. The noise, 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 noise. Here's some pictures of the Whos making a whole bunch of noise. We see an instrument making noise. Maybe a racetrack over here. I see a big drum. Then the Whos, young and old, would sit down to a feast. And they'd feast. And they'd feast. And they'd feast, 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 feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. What does roast beast sound like? Maybe something you've eaten at home? Roast beef? And then they'd do something he'd like least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Whos would start singing. Here they are singing. They'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. That is a long time. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? 53 years. Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. Kind of looks a little bit sneaky in that picture. I know just what to do. The Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and coat. And he chuckled and chuckled. What a great Grinchy trick! With this coat and this hat, I'll look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. Can you make a reindeer? No. So he called his dog Max, then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. There he is, dressing like Santa Claus. And here he's making his dog into a reindeer. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, "Giddy up!" and the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. There they are, headed to Whoville. Up to no good. All their windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. All the Whos were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, "This is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Does Santa arrive with empty bags or full bags of presents? Full, right? I wonder why it's empty. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once, for a moment or two, then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. There he is, sneaking in the chimney, seeing those stockings all in a row. We see all the Whos in bed sleeping. They have no idea what the Grinch is up to. Then he slithered and slunk, with a smile most unpleasant, around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkered boards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch, very nimbly, stuffed all the bags, one by one, up the chimbley. Then he slunk into the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. What do you think the icebox is? What does that look like? It's something similar to what you have in your kitchen. Maybe it's a freezer or a refrigerator. I'm thinking it's a freezer since he said icebox. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Looks like he's got some cake down here. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. "And now," grinned the Grinch, "I will stuff up the tree." Uh-oh, it's the last thing to go. The tree all by itself. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like a coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small who, little Cindy Lou who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who'd got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" Can you spot little Cindy Lou Who? It's right here. Do you think she's gonna stop him? Let's find out. But that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there. Then I'll bring it back here." Do you think he'll do that? And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And then the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. It was 1/4 dawn, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze, when he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags, and the tinsel, the trimming, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Pooh-pooh to the Who's. He was Grinch-ishly humming. "They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two, then the Who's down in Whoville will carry a boo-hoo." "That's a noise," grinned the Grinch, "that I simply must hear." So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so. But it was merry, very. Do you know what merry means? Like Merry Christmas? It means happy. He started down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. All hand in hand, singing. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours, till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back toys and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. The end. How did you like the story? I love this story this time of year. Now that we've finished our book, I have a few activities that we can do together. So whether it's attached down below or you can draw it yourself, we are going to work with the Grinch. So if you can't find the sheet down below, we will draw it together. So you can pause the video, take a moment to draw the Grinch, and make sure you include Grinch down here, Grinch. I'll give you a minute. Okay? And then we will get started. So the first thing we're going to color is the Grinch himself. All of the Grinch is going to be a green color. So you can take out a marker, a pencil, a crayon, whatever you may have, and color the Grinch all green. All of them green. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time. Okay? And then we're going to move on to his eyes. His eyes are going to be yellow. Yellow. Okay? Color his 2 eyes in yellow. All right. Okay. And then we're going to need 3 different colors down below. So the word Grinch, we are going to color the G red. G. That's going to be red. And then we're going to take either the same green or maybe a darker green, and we're going to color the R. R. The R is going to be green, okay? And then the I is going to be a black marker. I. And then we're going to come back to red, and we're going to color N. N is going to be red too. And then the C is going to be green. C. And then the H, the final letter, is going to be black again. H. Okay? So go ahead and pause, color those in. And we made the word Grinch. Now you may have noticed that C, K, and H, don't sound the same together. Well, whenever you see C and H together, C and H, that is called a digraph. A digraph is when 2 letters are combined and make a sound. So C and H make ch, like cheese, church, or even Grinch. And a digraph can be at the end of a word, just like in Grinch, or it can be at the beginning. What else do you notice, maybe about the colors of the word Grinch? That's right. They're in a pattern. The colors are in a pattern. So together, let's say red, green, black. Red, green, black. Awesome. So now that we've colored our Grinch, we are going to write some words, some adjectives around the Grinch. Adjectives are words to describe the Grinch. So we're going to take time together and we're going to compare the Grinch at the beginning of the story and at the end. So the words to describe the Grinch in the beginning are going to be black, write the words in black, and then the words to describe the Grinch at the end are going to be in green. Did the Grinch change over the story? Yes, he did. Okay, so we'll work together. Go ahead and write down your words. The words in the beginning are going to be in black, and the words at the end are going to be green. Okay. Go ahead and write your words down, brainstorm some words, and then we're going to share. Okay, have you thought of any words yet? Okay, so here are my words. At the beginning of the story, he was more grumpy, so I wrote the word grumpy in black. He was very sneaky with the Christmas trees and the decorations and trying to steal them. And he was very mean. He wasn't a very nice person. But then towards the end, he became nice. He was respectful of the Who's. And he was happy and cheerful by celebrating Christmas in Whoville with the Who's. Awesome job. Okay, so now that we've done our little activity, I have one more thing for you guys. So today, we're going to make our own little Grinch. Look how cute. So, all you need is maybe some scissors. You're going to need some scissors, some tape or some glue, and then some construction paper, some different colored construction paper. So we're going to start by tracing your hand, the green hand. You're going to put your hand down on a piece of paper, trace around it, and then cut it out. Okay, and then we're going to make a face on that hand. We're going to draw a smile, cut out a little green nose, some green eyebrows, and then some white and green eyes. Okay, so once you have his face, we're going to make the body. The body is more of like a pear shape, so you can go ahead and draw that and cut that out. And then we're going to attach little arms and legs to it. Okay, so once you glue or tape all of that together on both the body and the face, the last thing we need is a scarf. So go ahead and you can pick whatever color scarf you'd like, and then we're going to attach. This is how we're going to attach the Grinch. So you're going to take your face once you've made it. Go ahead and pause if you need any more time. Take the face and the body, and we're going to glue these things two together or tape them however you want to connect them. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay. So now that you have your body and your head connected, we are going to take it and put the scarf on your Grinch. Go ahead and connect those. And now we have our finished product. And you might have noticed my scarf looks a little bit different. I just added some other colors to it. You can make it, your own. You can make it however you want. And it's just a fun little activity. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed reading with me today. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. You're going to have to go and watch the movie now, and you guys can compare and contrast, find similarities and differences. between the book and the movie. We completed our little activity. You can hang this up on your refrigerator. Okay. And then we made our Grinch. I had so much fun with all of you friends. Thank you so much for reading with me today, and have a happy, safe, and healthy holiday season. Bye!